Hello, happy 2023 everyone. So I wanted to jump on today because I thought it was the beginning of the new year and this is a video I've wanted to create for such a long time, but I've kind of just never done it because I always think I always just do business chats. But this is something that alongside business, and I think everything that happens with business for me also comes back to my mindset and how I think, and like making sure that I've got a healthy mindset. Why am I always out of breath when I start doing videos? So the one video I wanted to create today is just talking about happiness, and I feel like this is quite a nice video taking you into 2023 to kind of understand what that actually means, because with Instagram, with TikTok, with everything, it's like, right, this is going to be the happiest day of my life, this is going to be really, really happy, and it's like, absolutely, that's what we're striving for. But this is something that I think confuses a lot of people, and this is why we get really confused about our emotions, because we strive for this happiness, thinking that this happiness is like always a huge peak in our life. So before I go any further, this disclaimer, this is all just things I have learned over the years on what works for me, things I've read in books. I've done no training on anything like this. I just love stuff like this because I think this is what helps me with business and just life in general. Obviously I mentioned before, I think a while ago on my Instagram, that I did suffer quite badly with anxiety. I think that was about 3 years ago now, where I'd never had anything like that in the past, and then one day I just had a massive panic attack and I was like, what is happening? I always just thought anxiety was just worrying, and then it happened to me and I was like, oh, it's a lot more intense than that. So I think from then I've really always kind of worked even harder on brain training and just really training my mind. And I'm happy to say now, 3 years on, like, I touch wood, never have an anxious thought ever. And if I do, I know exactly how to get rid of it. And I think that kind of, what I'm trying to say is, if you're in a similar situation right now where you're going through something, just remember that that time will pass completely, and that actually I look back at that time now and I'm like, thank God that happened to me, because I understand it, and I feel like I've been able to help quite a lot of people, not necessarily like cure them, but I've been able to help a lot of people because I understand it now, and I understand how I've been able to get through it myself as well. So that's kind of why all this stuff is like really important to me as well, and I think this mindset stuff really helps in business, in career, and just in life as well. So back to the point of this video, sorry for my brain dump, all around happiness. And some people might know this because you might read similar books to me, but just explaining what happiness is versus what people think happiness is. So this, I haven't got a piece of paper, but the diagram of happiness / life looks like this, and I don't know who did this, but it's on the internet somewhere. Imagine happiness is this straight line like this. This is your happiness line here, and it's just straight. It just goes in one direction, and it's in the middle. This is your line of happiness, okay? Up here are your huge peaks that you have in life. So these are like when you just are buzzing, something great happens, when you're just like really, really, really like, I don't even know, just something good's happened and you're up here. And then you have lows in life as well, when something not so great's happened and you've dipped. So you go from up to down and up to down. And that's kind of life, right? So you have like huge highs, and you might hit just like feeling normal. And then you might have like a bit of a low. And then it goes up and it goes down like this, okay? But what people think happiness is this. People think happiness is this up here. So these huge highs 24/7, and people are thriving for these huge highs 24/7. And when they don't have that, they think that they're not happy. But that's not sustainable. I mean, if you're a person that can be on these huge highs 24/7, then well done, you've nailed it. But for most people, that is not sustainable, because these are huge adrenaline highs. So I'll give you an example. Last week, I found out some really good news from a retailer. And I was upset, but I was happy, I was buzzing, I was so excited, and I was up here. And then like the day later, I was like here, because I'd had such a huge high. I have to come back to level ground. And I think that's what people don't always see, is that you have to come back to this level ground, because this is sustainable, this is not sustainable. So when we thrive for happiness, what we're actually thriving for is being here. And what this means is not being buzzing and ecstatic 24/7. It's just being kind of content and at ease. And getting there, I'm just going to pause this camera because Gia's screaming. 1 second. Sorry, Gia's now with me playing with the toys. But what I was trying to say is getting there is actually much simpler than you might think. So I think the first thing to take away from this video is that if you're striving to be up here and you think this is happiness and that's what you have to hit 24/7 to be happy, then it's not correct. It's not sustainable. And that's not true happiness. True happiness is here, and kind of remember that, because that kind of gives you that contentness. Because what happens is when you have them huge highs and you're not aware of this system, you wake up the next morning, you're like, I feel here. Oh, I'm not happy again. This is like, I thought I was happy yesterday. I woke up today and I'm not on a huge high anymore. I'm clearly not happy. I'm sad. And it's like, no, you're balancing back out. You're balancing back out. And the same happens as well with being sad. I'll give you another example. The other week, just before Black Friday, it was just really intense at work, and I didn't even realise I was feeling like sad. And then just the night of Black Friday, after we had such a huge launch, I was just really emotional and really sad. And I just released and cried for about an hour. Don't really know why. Woke up the next morning, I'm back here, I'm fine. And again, because I'm aware of this system, when I get upset, I don't think to myself, oh, I'm sad now, this is me sad forever. It's like I release my negative energy and then I get back level. So if we can kind of understand this rhythm in life, it just helps us realise where we're trying to get to. So I'm sure we all are aware of the different, yes, she is agreeing. I'm sure we're aware of like what a huge high is to us and what a huge low is to us, or even just a low in general. I bet everyone's like, well, what on earth is this? What is this? This is what you need to practice. And this all comes around kind of gratitude, and I'm sure you see it all the time on TikTok, and everyone, like, TikTok's great, but it's all just like these quick snippets of being like, practice gratitude and then you'll be happy, and you'll be like, what is that, and how do I fit into my life, like what do I even do? But it's actually quite simple. Gratitude is kind of talking to yourself like in a nice kind way, and just remembering to do it all the time. And I think at first you feel a bit silly, but imagine you're taking your dog for a walk, or you're going for a walk, and usually your mind is thinking, right, I need to go and do my food shop. I need to go and tell my boss tomorrow that I want a pay rise. I'm going to sack because I need more money. Oh God, I need to find an outfit for the weekend. You're just constantly ahead. You're always thinking, right, what have I got to do? What have I got to do? What have I got to do? And then that'll make me happy. When I do that, then I'll be happy. But we don't stop and just appreciate that moment that we're in. And I do it. I don't do it out loud because you'd look a bit silly. So this is why you have to do it to yourself. But like when I'll just be out for a walk, I'll just look at a tree and I'll think, wow, isn't it amazing that a tree can be grown? And like these things seem so simple and silly, but these are the things that make you level out. And I think just walking, oh, geez, pushing my table, and just be like, isn't it grateful that I can walk, that my legs allow me to walk? And it's simplifying our minds. It's simplifying our minds back to a sense where we just take gratitude for the really small things in life. And this just helps us feel really content. It doesn't happen straight away. It doesn't happen overnight. And I think it's just about starting it. So just once a day, start. I mean, I read in a book years ago, and I don't do it every day. I always forget, but it's every day you should say the 3 things you're grateful for. And this, honestly, it does work, because what it does, it just helps you really meet that middle ground. And some days you might be pissed off and you might not be grateful for anything. So you're like, I'm pissed off. But that's when you look at the grass and you go, isn't it great that grass can grow? And I know I'm probably sounding really hippie and dippy and anything in between. But honestly, it's these little simple things that just help you just come back down to kind of like the moment and take you away from what you're worrying about or what's just happened. And it just allows you to just be in that moment. And I think practicing that, it's taken me, I'm still not there. Like, I'm still on this journey. We're always going to be on a journey. You're never going to be there. You've always got things you can do. But practicing that has really helped me just come back in the moment and not be so stressed about something that a year ago I would be pulling my hair out about. So that is what I'm basically trying to say. I don't know if this video has any help, and most people are like, what on earth is she on about? But if this video just helps one person, and when I've explained my model in the past to people, I think it genuinely has helped them, because I do think people, because of Instagram, you're like, oh, she said she's had the happiest year of her life, and it's weddings, she's got married, she's had a kid, she's done all this, you've done that. And it's like, that is happiness. And it's like, no, 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 no. They're the high points. This is happiness. This is your day to day. And I think no one explains it like that. So because we just see, that was not me, that was Gia. Are you blowing bubbles? Because on Instagram and TikTok, we just see the ultimates. We think that happiness is here, and it's not. Happiness is here. So when you wake up one morning and you're not ecstatic, but you're content, and you have a cup of coffee, think, oh, it's lovely, I'm drinking this cup of coffee. You've made it. You're here. All right, I hope this is any help. If people think I'm absolutely trying shit, I might be. But this is what helps me. And again, this is not anything. I'm not trained in psychology, in mind work, in anything in the slightest. I've just read nearly every book under the sun since probably the age of 20, and I'm now 30. So quite a lot of reading and videos and research into things that can really help the mind. So that's where this all comes from. And this is what I practice daily. And to be honest, I don't practice it daily. Sometimes I completely forget, because a week will go and I'll be like, I'm in a bit of a crappy mindset this week, but that's okay. And I think it's remembering that. It's like being self-aware that that week was just a bad week. It doesn't mean you're then sad. It doesn't mean you're then upset. It's like, that was a bad week. What's happening next week? But yes, well, I hope that was any help to anyone, and I will try and do another work video soon. But I think I wanted to do a video like this before another work video, because for me, this is more important than nailing a business. Like, you can have the best business in the world, but if you're not happy, then what's the point? So I think practicing all this is actually where I think my passion actually lies, versus loads of the business side, because business for me over the years has been really stressful, and that's why I've practiced this so much, to learn it and to, I'm just rambling now, and to just get to a place that I'm like, oh, right, I get it. I don't need them highs every single day. Lows will happen, and that is life. So just remember, happiness, highs, lows, life. And then you're nailing it.